It's the Villains Talk Show with Sarah Vike, C4, Insanieac, Sir Jeremy, and the Great Grease Goblin. Also, we have a special guest. Hello.
Hi. Hello. Oh. Sorry, was I supposed to talk there?
No, I'm talking to myself.
Sorry,
he does that regularly.
Can people hear me?
Yes.
Oh, thank God. For some reason, the program updated and it doesn't tell me if my mic's working. Anyway, hello and welcome, everybody, to the Villains Talk Show. I, the one I'm talking, MC4. As always, I am joined with Sarah Vike, the Great Grease Goblin, Insanieac, and Sir Jeremy, and we're the Villains Talk Show podcast. You know the deal by now. Every month, Wednesday and Sunday we do shows. We upload podcasts every Tuesday and Thursday. That jazzy junk. And today we have a special guest. As you can see in the top right corner, it says the meat. That's all I could fit. It was supposed to say the meat man.
Meat is here. Honestly, the meat is perfect.
The meat, perfect. Who the meat is? The meat is an artist. I have a link. I've just got to put up the link in the chat so you can all concede the link. He's an artist and music creator. I'll let him introduce himself in a second. But his art is insanity. Some of us have checked out his music. Some of us have checked out his art. And yeah, we're going to do our usual have a half discussion interview and just say a bunch of random things and then put it on the internet kind of thing.
That's about what we normally do.
Yep. So take it away, Mr. Meat.
Mr. Hi, I am the meat.
About the meat.
Yes, you are the meat. Yeah. Talk about your art and stuff while I find the goddamn link and make it look like I had this planned.
I do make art and stuff, sometimes at the same time.
Nice.
Ooh.
Specialist we have here.
The specialist.
Yeah, it doesn't work most of the time because usually I end up just getting nothing done.
Oh, we know.
I've been there. I feel that one.
Too many projects, and I just get all too much. No thanks. I'm gonna go sit and watch Netflix.
We have an entire episode on procrastination if you need help and motivation. Like an entire episode on it.
Those are two things that I struggle with very deeply.
I think we talk about how we do too.
Am I too quiet? I don't know.
No, you're good. You're good.
I'm sorry.
You sound great.
I don't have any fancy audio equipment. I'm just sitting here on my phone.
Hey, that works.
Nice. It sounds actually pretty good compared to some of the other guests we've had with actual audio equipment. So
True. Yeah.
we'll take that.
Very true.
Well, you're in luck. I have Wi-Fi now, so.
Wi-Fi helps.
Wow. Wi-Fi.
I went like a year and a half without Wi-Fi, so.
I'm not going to have Wi-Fi all summer, so it's going to be fun.
This is why I use Freedom, because I can just connect to the Straw mobile hotspots.
Smart.
That's what I got through like a year and a half, was just using mobile hotspot by my house.
I know some people that go their entire lives or like go their entire year just using Starbucks Wi-Fi. They live near a Starbucks and they'll just go to a Starbucks and just use their Wi-Fi. Spend all day there.
I went to the bar once just to use their Wi-Fi.
I think we've all done that. I think we've all just gone to a certain place where we know free Wi-Fi is, like a Tim Hortons, and just didn't even buy a coffee. Just sit in the corner and just look around and just use the Wi-Fi.
Yeah,
well, I needed it to fill out background check stuff for my job, and so I just went to the bar.
This isn't sketchy at all. I'm gonna do my background check at the bar.
Yeah, I had lunch. It was good.
That's good. So, talking about your art, What did you start with? Music or visual art? Because like I checked out most of your visual art on Facebook. I completely encourage anyone to check out his art. It's
Very cool.
you know what it gives me? Have you ever seen? You must have. You must have seen those old '80s style posters, like the high contrast, the purple blues, and the high radiation, like the high neon colors.
Also, like kind of like a retro wave.
Yeah. Then I love that kind of art. So as I was scrolling through, I'm like, damn, man. And you're like, just I love your coloring. I love the entire. Like I was looking at some of your earlier work, your line work, and man, do you want to design a tattoo for me? Because like, damn, I love your art. I absolutely love it.
Oh, thank you.
I was scrolling through it too, and I love how colorful it is. It's so bright and vibrant, and it just makes me excited to look at.
But yeah,
for a very long time, I actually didn't do a lot of the bright colors because there's a lot of people who. There's this whole thing going on where people say, "Oh, bright colors are bad. Don't do that." And I was like, "Okay, art rules." And then, like a couple of years ago, I just said, "Fuck it. I don't care about these dumb rules. I'm going to make everyone's eyes burn."
I believe it was Andy Warhol that said the art rules are made so you know what to break, or something like that. Or there's only rules in art so you know what hasn't been done.
I mean, I've heard varieties of that, but not exactly.
Something like that. That's how Andy Warhol came up with his Campbell's painting.
It's somewhere along the lines of the rules are made to be broken.
Yeah.
Which is definitely 100% true.
Learn the rules like a pro so you can break them like an artist.
That's
exactly.
And that's Pablo Picasso.
That's Picasso. Thank you. Thank you.
That is a great quote.
That is a great quote.
I'm going to forget it immediately.
Well, then write it down. Here, no. You know what? I'll write it down in the Discord for you. I will put it in the Discord.
I'm gonna make
yes, please do that because I already forgot it.
But I would love you. Sorry. But what did you start with? Did you start making music? Did you start making art? Where did your passions lie? Because I sing. I've been the singer. I've been a professional singer since I was like. I was started trained when I was 6 years old, and I basically have been doing opera and classical singing my whole life. And I am horrible at drawing. And I mean, like the only art I'm good at is like pottery, because I'm good with my hands. But I sing. So I'm just wondering with someone who makes such like good techno music and art, I wanted to know where did your creativity start, or did it both kind of flourish at the same time?
Yeah, it's hard to tell because I kind of started both around the same time. Like I know I started drawing when I was probably in the 3rd or the 4th grade, and then in the 4th grade we had this project in music class where we had to create a project in GarageBand on the Macs, and this was like my first time ever using a Mac.
I remember
And we did it in partners, and our project was probably the worst sounding thing I've ever heard. We
You guys had Mac
a bunch of random Apple loops that we liked and put them together, and it sounded like
I had that
a computer having a stroke. But it was very entertaining to do, and so a couple of years later, my dad got an iMac in the basement, and that was I spent so much time just screwing around on that one.
Yeah, my school had something very similar, and then I got very into GarageBand for a while for that, just because of that project.
And then I actually didn't switch to Logic, which is basically the professional version of GarageBand, until a couple of years ago.
How old are you, by the way, if you don't mind me asking?
Early mid-20s.
I know that exact age, because that's exactly what I would say at that age. Yes.
That's what I would say.
Yeah. Early mid-20s is I know that exact one. Oh, so you're still young. Man, you're good. Like,
Yeah.
so
I feel like I'm very behind, so that's good to hear because I feel like I'm very behind.
I feel like a lot of things kind of start out that way when you're trying to make like a name brand or some kind of thing for yourself.
Yeah,
It always kind of feels like you're running against like some kind of clock that I would say is not really there.
and
Because I felt like that with my videos sometimes.
it's very rare people are like actually get big or start making money in their early teens and early 20s. You usually hear about people starting to make or starting to actually put effort in usually late 20s, early 30s. Like it's just kind of the way it spins. But then again, you never know. But yeah, no. So let's kind of shift to your music a bit, because you mentioned just before the stream that one of your favorite shows in that's happened in our city is Infected Mushroom, who is
yeah. So
who is an Israeli band that's like super close to my heart. I've been to 3 of their shows here in the city. I love Infected Mushroom.
yeah, I was supposed to go to the Netherlands for DEF CON 1 festival. I've been wanting to go for like 8 years now, and of course, the year that I buy my ticket, 2 weeks later, everything shut down because of a global pandemic.
Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. That actually hurts me a little. That would be so much fun.
Fortunately, I didn't have to fight airlines for my money back, mainly because I'm more of a habitual last-minute flight booker.
That helps.
Yeah, I mean, it's been working for me so far, so why change the formula now? I still have the show tickets though, so that's good. I can go. Hopefully, they're going to be up and running next year. They're going to be doing a 4-day long instead of the regular 3 days.
Just because we both like Infected Mushroom, do you prefer the band or the DJs?
I have no preference. I just like the music.
Oh, okay. Just so you know, Infected Mushroom, the 2 guys who do it, there's 2 different kinds of concerts they do. So they always tour twice. There's the tour.
Okay.
There's the
That's
tour
just-
where it's just them. It's just the 2 DJs and they DJ and stuff. And, it's like a techno concert. Or they'll hire 3 other guys, a drummer, a synthesizer guy, and a guitar player, and they will play all their songs using instruments.
That is really cool. Well,
It is.
I've only
The bassist
I've
can
only
play
seen the
with his
DJ,
tongue.
so
If you're lucky, I hope that when you see them, you see the band. The band is so good because you still got the Doom Shrooms, but it feels like a rock concert, but it's all techno, and it's very impressive.
yeah, that sounds really cool.
I grew up with Daft Punk. That was the techno music that I grew up with. DJ Tiesto, Benny Benassi, the oldies.
Yeah,
The
I
classics.
definitely I grew up listening to like Deadmau5. That was kind of my biggest introduction to like dance music was Deadmau5. And then actually in an IMVU chat room, I discovered jump style, and then from there I found hard style. And then I've been kind of on that train for the last 10 years.
Have you heard Scooter?
Yeah, I've heard some of
Oh
his
my
stuff. I'm
God.
not too familiar with a lot of his music.
I love Scooter.
We are so old, Jeremy.
Yeah, so Scooter just toured in 2016.
We're so old. Scooter.
I've
Yeah,
definitely
he
heard
still
some of
tours.
it. I'm not super familiar with it. I'm more familiar with like earlier Headhunters and Noise Control.
Okay.
Oh, Boston Rom? Like
Yeah.
oh. I grew up with hard style as a kid. Like, when I grew, like I was a teenager about 2007, 2014. So all the hard style I was getting was like straight German hard style, like I said, like Boston Rom, You got some DJ Insomnia in there. Like it was a lot of fun. It was the basics of dance music, if I remember. And then you get like, and then dubstep was starting. But how did you find your sound? Because there's so many different kinds of techno. Oh my god.
Honestly, I'm still kind of looking for it. I'm still kind of just experimenting. I really like the kind of 80s basses as well, so I like to add some elements of like synthwave, retro wave into what I do. And I'm trying to figure. I would love to find a way to include elements of industrial metal into it as well.
Oh my god, do I have a mix for you? Yeah, do I have a mix
If
for
I
you?
could just figure out how to do those vocals, and then how to record it without chickening out every single time.
Okay, so like I said, I'm so up, and you mentioned vocals. I have a buddy. He's actually been on the stream. He's been a guest on with us before. He does metal vocals. That's what he does. He's been trying to start a death metal band his whole life, and I'm sure if I got him in contact with you, he'd be more than happy to do vocals for you. And it's
That'd be a very interesting duo to see.
He does
hard style death metal duo.
It's funny because his two kinds of music is he makes sometimes like trance. He loves trance, but he also loves really, really dark death metal. That's what he sings. So I think that would be a cool mashup. I will definitely get you in contact with him. That would be interesting.
Yeah, that would be really cool to see what happens.
So have you ever collabed with other artists? I know in my musical career it just kind of happens where all of a sudden you'll meet an artist and be like, hey, let's do something together. But what about you, like in terms of your music or even your art?
Have I collaborated with any artists? No, I don't think so. At least not with music. I've done a couple of collaborations in like illustration, but that was easily 6 or 7 years ago.
Wow, that's actually so. When you were in your teens, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean it was nothing like crazy. It was just like friends on the internet and just, hey, let's do a collaborative drawing. Okay, I'll make the lines, you color it. Cool, call it done.
I mean, and that's just how it starts, man. Like I used to do that with man, every year, obviously not last year, there is a kind of exclusive music party that happens in Sunnyside, where the owner of the Calgary Philharmonic has like this backyard party for all the local musicians, and you just kind of show up and sing or play your music and play a song. And I've been going to it for years. And it's just one of those things where you just you go to stuff and you just collab with people and you build connections, and you'd be surprised because people remember. Like you'll meet someone like you haven't seen in 8 years or like 5 years, and they'll be like, "Hey, blah blah blah," and be like, "Yeah, totally." It's funny how it works that way, man. Connections.
Yeah, definitely. I've asked people if they want to collaborate before, and I don't know how to approach these kinds of things, so I just usually they're like, hey, I want to collab, and they're like, okay, do you have any ideas? And I'm like, nope, I have no clue. I was hoping that was something we were going to figure out together.
Yeah, I find kind of asking people, it's kind of getting past that little like nervous hurdle, you know, breaking out that shell.
Because the one person that I asked is a friend of mine who is in where? Texas. And I was like, hey, how would you feel about a collab? And he asked me if I had any kind of ideas, and I just kind of went, not really. I was hoping that's kind of something we were going to figure out together. But he's really busy, so I totally understand.
Yeah, that's the hard part too with collabing, is trying to set up schedules and stuff, so that way you can fit in a work time. We know that all too well with D&D games.
Yeah.
You really do.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. I remember those days.
So
that's how our talk show started. Inspiration behind D&D.
just to get into some of the meat of your art, I just had
Was
some.
that a pun?
Yeah, actually, it was. So thank you for catching it. My co-hosts always seem to miss my puns.
Yeah, well, maybe.
Just
Just
doing
doing
more
it.
than
That's
Yeah,
why some of us can
exactly.
aim better, I guess, on puns. And
I noticed you have. As I keep looking through your art, one thing I've noticed is you have a real sense of style with. What's it called? You're very visceral. I love the detail you put into. I mean, like you have melting faces, kind of like cybercorpse. I don't know how to say it. It looks like a
Yeah,
mix of cyberpunk and undead.
the inspiration is very cool. It's very different. Like it's
That
very,
and that's what I want.
Alice in Wonderland meets like some kind of like dark grim.
That's exactly where I was getting at. That's what I was going to ask. Like, where does your inspiration come from for your art?
That's a lot of things. I listen to a lot of music, obviously, so I pull a lot of inspiration from that. And I have a very wide collection of animated GIFs on my phone that I like to look at, and sometimes I'll pull some ideas from there. A lot of the time I get ideas, I see things when I'm meditating, or I get ideas when I'm under the influence of certain things.
Yeah, no drugs. We've talked about our drug use. I've done every drug under the sun. Don't even need. We're artists here.
We're not sensitive about it. We understand.
We're all depressed on the inside.
But
we all
the
know.
cops might be listening, dude.
The cops don't know your name. They know you as the meat. You're fine.
Yeah, the meat.
I'm the only one with anything even approaching a real name here. So, and I don't do drugs. So
They might be,
And
they
we've
might
been
be
trying to
tracking
give her
our
a name.
IPs and spying on us through our webcams.
I mean, that has potential.
I mean, I've got both
Luckily,
my
you don't have
shots, so
you don't have yours on. So
Say if they look through my webcam, they'll not be too happy.
I have-
that shit off right away.
okay,
I have both my 5G chips in my arms, so they can track me anywhere now.
Oh, you've got both of them.
You've got both chips now, huh?
Yeah,
So now you're in sync with the network.
I am. We're just waiting for China to flip the switch and I'll become.
see all of
He's waiting for his first download.
Hey guys, I've shown it on stream. I have a copy of Mao's Red Book. Okay, I've
The
been
first download. I'm just waiting for the update now.
Yeah, me too.
like I was telling
the day one patch.
I'll tell you guys. You guys will know it'll work when I can open up my Chinese Mao Red Book and just start reading it. And be like, hey, I can read this now. Oh, finally, the 5G kicked in.
Ah, yes. That would be great
Yes,
to just
yeah,
send
5G
them
allows you to
Chinese. I took Chinese for 6 years, and I remember how to say "I love you."
Hey, at least you remember that.
Hello.
Hey, at least remember something.
I'm impressed you. Yeah, you have that second language. I don't really have one yet.
What is your accent?
I learned more Dutch from just changing my phone language to Dutch than I learned in 6 years of Chinese.
Yeah, immersion helps a lot.
Yeah,
That's actually
especially because they don't teach Dutch in Chinese class.
really,
Hope not.
you really
Good.
now.
Technically could. I
Maybe
guess.
if you are Dutch and learning Chinese, they might.
Yeah,
You
Chinese. is
shouldn't
hard.
be learning Dutch in a Chinese class, Sarah.
Yeah, it.
If you are Dutch and you're speaking Dutch and you're learning Chinese, you might learn a little bit of like the structure of the Dutch so that you can compare it to the structure of the Chinese.
Chinese structure is very interesting. I don't remember much, but I remember when you're talking about time, you start from like the most general to the most specific.
Huh. That's cool.
Having been a TA for ESL students when I was in university, because I was doing my English degree, I can tell you, teaching people English is a rough thing as well.
Yeah.
Like,
It's a weird
hardest
language.
language to
English is a
learn.
really stupid language.
It
Yeah,
really is.
I've heard that one.
I
a lot of
don't
times.
know how it took over the world.
I can tell you how.
Will.
Guns and colonialists.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, and horses. Horses helped.
Oh, and Americans.
Yeah.
God damn Americans.
I honestly don't know if the Americans really had a lot to do with it. I think it was mostly the British.
Well, it started with the British.
America didn't really start doing anything until like World War One or two.
It's more. I'd say it's more around the economic upturn when America started becoming an economic power and overtaking Britain, because then you had the British were pushing colonialism, which you could say only went so far. It was the fact that United States then made English the language of trade. If you wanted to trade, you had to do it through America, because America's the only one that had the markets, and their markets were in English.
Yeah.
And
much.
so once you hit like the 40s and 50s, it basically funneled everyone to learn English.
God bless America.
I don't think anyone said that on the show yet. That's good.
Nation reborn.
Are you sure? I think I've heard it once.
From
Oh,
who?
maybe from Panther. Oh man,
No,
Yeah.
I think it was sarcastically.
maybe.
I can't
Oh.
believe it's Wednesday already.
this
I
is
know.
like this is my Sunday. I get Tuesday, Wednesdays off. Tomorrow is my Monday.
This is my Wednesday.
I definitely
Wednesday,
don't miss those days.
No.
This is my Tuesday.
I actually don't even know if I have days anymore. They just all combine into one glob.
You have camp days.
I have 1, 2, 3, 4. Nope. You know what? I was going to count the number of days until camp starts, but that's a bad idea.
That is a bad idea.
A really bad idea.
That is a
Calendars
bad
are
idea.
not my friend.
I used to work
So,
Is
nights.
she the math
That
teacher?
was a ride.
Sorry.
Sorry?
I used to work nights. That was a ride.
Mhm.
A few that do
Would
will
be.
understand.
What did you work nights as?
I worked at a gas
Oh, okay.
station.
Oh,
Ooh.
quite the place to work.
Long.
Ooh. I used to work when I work nights at my restaurant, and I leave at like 1 or 2 in the morning because there's like a hood fan cleaning. I feel bad for the people at the gas station, like inside the Road King, that are still there, because it's just nothing looks good. It's
Oh,
just,
do you work at the Road King as well?
yeah.
Oh, nice.
It's his restaurant.
boss.
I work literally a block away from the Road King.
What?
Yeah,
Oh,
Where?
I work at the Iron Mountain building.
Oh, I used to work there.
huh.
I worked there like 10 years ago.
Well, it's still there, and there's still people who work there.
Yeah,
It was like an easy job.
there's a restaurant and bar inside the Road King, and I'm the one of the owners.
Oh, you own the place. Nice. Making
Yes.
the
Just
big
made
bang.
yourself real easy to find.
It makes me wonder what the Grease Goblin has told you.
So I worked there.
Tell things? What?
That was
Yeah,
really
pretty
all I
much.
said.
Explain things.
He works there, and his friend is the owner.
Yeah.
And I did not know that this friend was going to be you.
Well, that's nice. Let's start talking about your music. So,
Yes.
what made you like? I guess I don't want to say what made you go into techno, but what made
Did you set up all your music on your GarageBand or Bandcamp, whatever? Sorry, is that all your own music? Like not like your own, but like your own rips and spins on it.
I'm not sure I am understanding the question.
Like your Bandcamp music, I'm just listening to, and a number of it is like it's all your own kind of take on some of the different stuff. Like you put it through your own like mixing sound systems.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
your own-
So, especially, I assume you're talking about like the remixes. So I rip
Yeah.
the vocals either from the original or I'll find the acapella, and then I'll completely rebuild the entire like instrumental part of it.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, I noticed that the Cascada was really good too.
does he have the quintessential song where it's like that guy who goes, "There was in the beginning, there was house music, and house music had its own groove, and from that groove came the groove of all grooves."
No, not quite yet. At least not. I've run into one yet. Very interesting music though. It's all very like the way you've explained your style, like, and your thing says like synthwave hard style. It's very interesting. I like it a lot.
Yeah, it's very, very fast.
You should look up like Keygen Church or Villain Synthwave. I think you might find something you like, especially Keygen Church. Keygen Church is a mix between like Keygen music and like hard metal is the best way I could describe it. It's pretty good.
Metal.
Yes, the metal.
Metal.
But so where do you find inspiration from, like in terms of artists? You said you grew up with Deadmau5 and that was really your introduction, but let's everyone's palette will say grows.
Artists like Audio Freak and DJ Searle, Noise Controllers, Headhunters, Sound Rush. Definitely get a little bit of inspiration from Vinny Vici when it comes to my just poor attempts at making trance.
I love trance. That's what I grew up with. I can still liquid. I was one of those kids that would, dance there and, play with the energy balls and do the liquid because I couldn't dance.
Do the liquid.
Do the liquid.
I'm not sure what kind of liquid we're talking about here.
It's a dance style.
Like a big idiot.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a dance. Okay, I thought.
Yeah, it's a dance style called liquid. It's like old school rave.
Kind of liquid.
It is.
I was more into the saucy liquid.
It kind of got driven out by the pop and lock and by the shuffle.
I was going to say, which shuffle, Jeremy? The Australian shuffle? That was the best shuffle.
I can't dance at all.
That's okay. You're the DJ.
Yeah,
You're not supposed to dance.
You can dance as bad as you want, and nobody will care.
All you do is just bob your head and throw your hand in the air.
I went to Donald Glaude, and he's famous for dancing in the crowd, and I would say he doesn't dance very well either. But the crowd does not care.
It's the best part of the rave is so everyone.
Yeah, the rave is everybody's pretty accepted. Doesn't matter how foolish you think you.
Whatever your vibrant stroking movements make you feel good, is you do the thing.
You might want to rephrase that.
Although on that same note,
Very specific about what I said.
Yeah, I bet you were. You vibrant stroker.
I would say
A
though,
lot of times they are very vibrant.
Jeez.
talking about dancing at raves, nothing would make me laugh more than, not now, because now it's like kind of developed its own style, but back when dubstep was first coming on the scene, back in like 2007, 2008, I remember going to shows and like seeing people just, I don't want to say the wrong words, but
They're the wrong words. Do it.
they looked rather,
Like they were having a seizure.
that's a nice way to put it. That is really nice way to put it. We're gonna run with that.
Yeah.
Vibrant
I know where you were going, and let's leave it that way.
Oh, violent seizures. Can you imagine, can you imagine being that, like sitting there as a DJ meet and just being like, oh yeah, everyone's having fun, and then seeing some guy just doing the weirdest moves. Everyone's like 5 feet away from him because he's basically doing
little bubble.
he's basically doing like his own rendition of Monty Python's office administration of silly walks, except he's doing it seriously.
Oh boy.
Is that not having a stroke? No, that's just the rave.
Have you done any live performances?
I played once at a house party.
Hey, that's live.
I mean, technically, that's where you start, though.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I did some live streams like earlier on in the pandemic, but I don't have any great like audio equipment, so the sound and the video was literally going through my phone onto Facebook.
Doing it all through your phone? Man,
Yeah.
that good for you. That is
This was
dedication.
this was back when I still didn't have internet, so the only thing of mine that was connected to the internet was my phone. So I would just point the camera at my equipment and make sure that my face isn't in the shot, and then just film it on Facebook.
Oh, you're not going to be one of those cool DJs that wears like a rubber mask that they can't breathe in while they play.
I just wear COVID masks. I've been wearing like surgical masks since before the pandemic. So the fact that now people are making masks and like giving them out, it's just like cool. I have more like costume shit.
Yeah, right.
That's
up
pretty.
that-
That's pretty funny. That's actually
Mine.
That's great.
you. Oh man, you were the pandemic before the pandemic. That's
That would have been a good feature name, actually. Pandemic.
Yeah, that
Oh.
would catch a lot of attention these days.
Or just make a song called Plandemic.
Ooh, that could go so badly, but also
That's
so
so well.
quickly.
But that's
I'm
the
sure It
point.
could have nothing to do with anything.
I've definitely considered trying to take a comedy angle, because like there's a bunch of comedy musical artists, like comedy metal bands and stuff. You don't really see a lot of comedy EDM artists, and I think that'd be interesting to see happen.
I'm gonna be honest. You have a great voice for it. You have just enough of an accent that you can still be completely understood, but no one can quite pinpoint where it is. Because I keep on asking you where it's from, but I've just kind of refrained from not to. But if you did a comedy, like just that comedy, and if you could deliver it dry, man, that would be hilarious. I can already hear it in my head. Just tell dry dad jokes in the middle of your songs.
Yes,
Oh my god, that would be the best.
absolutely. Right at the drop. Right at the drop.
Right at the drop. It's just super dad jokes.
I'm dead.
I used to-
bass drops.
Before I started trying to like go kind of a more serious route with the music, I had a very long list in my phone of unused song titles, and it was just a bunch of dumb shit. Like I think I had one that was called "Jesus Walked on Tomatoes."
You know,
Interesting.
That was a song title idea that I never used, and anytime I just came up with something really stupid sounding, I would just type it in my list of song titles. There was one in there that was it literally said, "I get most of my song titles from The Sims." That was the name.
dude, there's a techno guy from years ago named Milo, and he wrote a CD called Destroy Rock and Roll, and one of his songs is just a random string of thoughts that he put down on a piece of notepad of what he thought of different celebrities. No coherence, none whatsoever. There were lines that he wanted to put in songs, and eventually just said fuck it and put it all into one song. That would be that's a great idea. If you have all these song titles you'll never use, just make like a sweet beat and have a good song, and then just you deadpan reading your song titles.
That would be
Like,
very interesting. I'm sure
jeez.
I have a copy of it somewhere still.
Although Jesus Walks on Crushed Tomatoes sounds like a great song.
You see, I know I have
Yeah.
an updated version of it that doesn't have a lot of the dumb ones. I wonder if I still have a version with all the dumb ones.
Yeah, the dumb ones are probably more fun.
I am
Well, of
kind of
course,
serious
so-
about that though. You know, Jesus Walked on Crushed Tomatoes sounds like a fantastic song name.
It does. It sounds hilarious.
So what do you have any training whenever? Like, do you have any background? Did you just do this on your own?
I took a beginner course for Logic Pro at SAIT. It was a month long, and I was like, because before I took new media production and design at SAIT for 2.5 years. And then eventually I said, fuck it, I hate this, and quit. And then I went to that Logic Beginner class. I got more out of that 1 month than I did out of the 2.5 years in media.
I believe it, actually.
And after I, like, immediately after I took that one course, I bought Logic Pro.
But even
Sorry,
before
I
that,
wasn't
like
expecting
in sorry, I was just gonna say, like, even before that, like when you were in high school or even younger, did you ever seek any training? Maybe meet with an artist just to, like, I don't know, or did you all just self-develop to that?
I mean, I took piano for a few months at one point, and then I did vocal for a little bit. Like right before I started high school, I did vocal, and then I was in like the school choir. But nothing super crazy professional.
You were in the school choir. Which high school did you go to?
I went to Central.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it sucked.
No, it's fine. It's just there
We
isn't.
did make it to provincials though, or did we win provincials? I think we won provincials.
There was like if there was like 4 or 5 high schools you could have said, and I would have known the choir director. And I've been like, oh, but
Yeah, so I went to Central, and one of the years that I was there, we won provincials,
nice.
which was pretty cool.
That's me clapping.
Don't take choir in high school.
Oh, I did. I was fine. I did choir and football.
I did
Oh,
choir
wow.
in high school and loved it.
I did football.
I found
and
a lot
hockey.
of the people in the choir very catty. Did not
Oh,
like that.
oh
I
yeah.
ended up leaving
My whole school
the
was
choir
catty,
after
so.
grade 12.
I guess. Yeah.
I was like, I can't deal with these people anymore.
I guess you can't see me, man. I'm a long-haired metalhead, and I've been that way since I was a kid. And I did choir. Like I went. Like I said, I was in choir since I was like 6 years old. So I went to high school, and I was a linebacker, and I was in choir. And no one ever questioned me ever. And yes, choir kids can be catty. Same with football players. But no one ever brought it up to me because nope. You know, I was like, oh yeah, okay, fine. Say it to my face. No, you don't want to? Good. It's not my problem. But
I see.
I completely get
Sorry.
it. No, sorry. I was just gonna say I completely get it. They are
Yeah.
kids. It's the reason I don't want them. Unless I can have a kid from like the age of 6 to 14 and then, give them up for all the rest of the years and then get them back at 20.
No.
Yeah, this
It's
is
like
why
13, 14 when you want to get rid of them. By the time they're like 15, 16, they're a little more sane.
this is why I have
No.
No, that's the years
Oh,
that
yeah.
Sean can break them.
plants don't talk back.
Yeah.
Plants don't talk back. I have
And you don't feel
Reginald
as bad if you accidentally killed him.
and Jerry. Susie only lasts 6 weeks, but she's in a better place now. Just throw the potted plant out the window.
I mean, I accidentally ended up killing Paula in 2. The worst part is, Paula's an aloe vera.
How did you kill an aloe vera plant?
I don't know.
Did you
I think-
drown it?
I think that the people at the store overwatered it, and then when I got it, I repotted it, and then I gave it some water, and then it immediately started drooping. And I was like, oh no, what's wrong? And I took it out of the pot, and like 90% of the roots came out because they were all rotten.
You sound like my mother, and my mother has a black thumb. Like, kills everything she touches. Winrick says I was a choir cub leader in high school. Wicarex. You know what?
You can't
Wicca.
pronounce anything.
We're just gonna say
Correct.
Wicca said this. club leader. Oh, choir club? Oh, we had no clubs in high school. I went
Someone
to
tried to start an anime club at my school.
And
Never
game
really
club.
did realize what became of that. I left after like 3 days because I didn't give a shit.
I had a game club where we always sat and played Smash Bros.
there was no clubs in my high school during my
I got
Sounds
time.
a
like
Wii
you had
club.
an exciting club at school.
If you tried
No.
to start a club, they just never happened because it's like it was just so many people just didn't care. I went to an inner city high school. I went to Crescent, a wonderful high school.
That's why.
I
know
almost
why.
went there.
I know all about Crescent. I heard that was a pretty awful place.
It was. I mean,
That says it all already.
there was some nice people there.
It was, I mean,
I went there. I was a nice person.
oh yeah, you can tell now. After the 20 years, you're so great.
I'm just saying, like, if anyone listens to all the stories I've told of high school, I'm one of the nice people.
That's what we got from those stories.
You should have.
Very sad. Yes.
So nice, much positive.
I never but the other thing about my high school though is there was no cliques, no groups.
That's not what I heard about that.
Oh no, maybe
I
maybe
heard
There's a lot of clicks in my high school.
I had other friends in Crescent. I heard
I
much
think.
about that school.
Everyone was kind of terrible. I hated everybody.
I mean, that is school anyways. Like, nobody's really happy, and nobody's really the person they want to be. So nothing is good about it for any person
And, like,
that's there.
Out of everybody that I knew in high school, I think I'm friends with like maybe 5 people.
I don't think I talk to anybody from high school anymore.
funny enough, I still have a couple friends from high school. It usually wheedles down that way. I mean, I went to my high school reunion. That was kind of fun. Like, I'd suggest going. It's a lot easier. It's a lot more fun than people say. Wickerex also said, I created the choir club. It slowly became a karaoke club. Still, I'm just singing that often. Karaoke club is like the same thing. I mean, it's still
I would
singing.
prefer the karaoke club over choir.
Yeah, I think I would prefer that one too.
I mean, as long as you don't have like someone singing Journey every time the club starts, then it's not like a dirty karaoke club. It at least still got class.
Kind of the club is you just choose what you want to do, right?
It's true. What if you had a club? Like a
What the
club,
heck?
Just meet people with one.
a club with a bunch of people with clubs.
Are we talking about clubs as in like love card face or bats?
It would be ambiguous
All
for
of
that reason.
Everyone.
Yes.
Someone brings golf clubs. Someone brings a card.
And someone brings a DJ set. We got the club up in here.
Appreciation club.
An appreciation club.
Yeah.
Oh my god! You just go
Appreciate
around. You go around to people who feel underappreciated as like a group of like 100 people, and just out of nowhere, just show up and just start applauding them. Yeah,
Appreciate you.
like oh my
They
god,
start to cry.
that'd be so good. Like people that clean outhouses at parks, you like go up as a group of 100 people and just applaud them for cleaning the outhouse, or that would be
People doing like
amazing.
workout, like public running around, be like, "Yeah, you can do it." You just keep chasing around, being like
That'd
your
be
yes man.
so good. I would actually be so funny. I would love to do that. Get a group of 100 people and just appreciate people who are underappreciated.
Chase them around with
Actually,
scooters so they
that's
can't
super
get away.
wholesome. I like that.
The goal is to go around and just find people whose jobs they never get applauded for, like a car salesman. We all like hate waiting the cars, and when he finally makes a sale, like, yeah, woo! Good job on that sale, man. Oh, that would be so good.
Wickerex also says, unfortunately, it was a lot of country. Nothing against it, just not my type of music. We actually had an anime club too for a short amount of
I
time.
know that pain of country.
That's cool.
Anime, but no,
I
that
heard
least
somebody
favorite
mention
genre.
country, and then I missed everything else because my head was stuck on country.
His favorite genre.
I hear you, bud.
Like, that's all you ever hear in that city.
What? No. No.
Hey,
Are they,
name
is this person talking about literally anywhere in Saskatchewan?
I'm talking about that's about Calgary.
No, Calgary's got some country singers that are famous.
They got nothing but country there. That's all it is.
Tegan and
Disgusting.
Sarah, biggest thing to come out of Calgary, bigger than Brad Paisley.
What?
What about that?
Too much country. That's what it is.
What about that teenage girl who just graduated high school? What's her name? I never got her name.
She's from
That's not
Calgary.
I know
Yeah,
a lot
there's
of
some-
teenagers who just
Some teenage
graduated.
girl who just graduated from Western. She's like a pop star or something, I think.
Oh, cool.
Oh, Wicca Rex
yeah.
is from Standard, Alberta.
What's very interesting is my sister went to the same high school as this kid.
Oh, neat.
You're
She's
also
in marching band.
My ex went
We
to school.
we
with
do
Tegan
very
and Sarah.
different music.
There's a band that's actually a marching band that's really good. The Avalanches. They're from like the 90s. They do a bunch of different music. They do funk, techno, but it's a marching band that graduated high school together and they just decided to make a band. One of my favorite bands of all time.
That sounds really cool.
That is cool.
Yeah.
Well, we're entering the final 10 minutes here. So why don't does anyone have any more questions for Mr. Meat? Because I had an idea.
I can't say that I do. It sounds like what you do is pretty cool and that you really enjoy it.
What
It
temperature is
has
the-
its
that's the only
moments.
question I have.
Being a producer, you kind of love it, but you also kind of hate it and want to rip your hair out.
I was gonna ask, do people like Billie Eilish's brother kind of like infuriate you? Someone
Who's Billie Eilish's brother?
so
The one who writes and produces all her music.
the 18-year-old who writes and produces all her music. He's this 18-year-old who is the one who made his sister famous, and now he's like he's
She
just
shits on him too.
yeah, and he's just this crazy producer that just I guess now you know about him.
Yeah, now I know.
Yikes.
Well, I mean, I'm not like mad or anything, but I suppose jealous
I will
is a
be
good
soon.
description.
I'm not mad currently because I don't have enough information, but soon I will be.
In the future.
No, just jealousy.
I hear you. But I don't. You have good stuff, man. Especially like I would love if you did a piece for us. Like I'd even pay you for it. It'd be cool. Because I don't know if you've seen any of our iconography, but I do it all in this wonderful, sweet, awesome program called Microsoft Paint.
Audacity?
Have you ever heard of it?
Artwork. I thought you meant the audio. I was going to go with Audacity.
Oh, I use Audacity.
No, for my audio, I use the Twitch Studio Beta. Actually,
Oh, that's a thing that exists.
it's good, man.
It's pretty
It's
decent,
actually I quite like it. Yeah, it's not bad. It's got all the bells and whistles. Sarah's got another frozen face. Oh, that's a great one. We now have a disappointed meme.
No, I hate it. Why? Why does that happen?
This one's just like your look. You look like you're.
And
in
that
judgment.
is
She doesn't look
That
that
will be the
disappointed on
caption
this-
for
on
the
stream.
meme.
That will be the
Like,
caption for the meme.
It's your judgment. It looks like you're in judgment face.
Yeah.
Well, to be fair, I probably am.
It looks like it more like a child has told you a very disappointing story,
You mean
I
like
do
so?
hear a lot of
and you're just like,
And it still doesn't have an end, and it keeps going. And
yeah, and it still keeps going. It's like, oh, as it slowly gets worse.
That's funny.
I guess do you have any anyone else have anything to say? Any questions? No, just silence.
Oh, I can't say that I do.
No.
Come back on Sunday for D&D as a special
Oh.
guest again.
It's not really D&D.
Would you want to
It's
come
weird.
back on Sunday for D&D? We do 2-shot Sundays.
And this
Exactly
Sunday,
is that?
we roll
Well,
dice
let's-
and laugh at each other. You
Let's
don't need
ju-
it, but it's encouraged.
Let's just say you don't need any experience. You just need
It's
to.
also
Real
I was
D&D
gonna say
this
I,
time.
I probably won't make it this Sunday again either, so
I
that would be
will.
somebody to fill my position.
it's also not D&D though. It's much weirder.
I was to say it kind of is, but it doesn't.
But it's easier. It's easier than
It's-
It is
D&D.
easier.
Like
It's way
D&D, but everything is upside down.
This
It's
is
like
easier.
D&D, but if you were eating Wendy's.
Are
Hypothetically,
you saying you don't eat Wendy's when you play D&D?
Well, we do
And
now.
This
You
one,
really
this one
should if
it's
you were playing
encouraged.
this one.
It's actually encouraged because it's Wendy's D&D.
Nice.
That being said, I think that's all I got, guys.
yeah,
Yeah.
Thank you, Meat Man. Plug
The
yourself.
Meat Man, thanks too.
man.
This is when you plug yourself. All the plugs right now. Go.
Okay, I have a SoundCloud and a Bandcamp, and I have a YouTube channel, but I don't update it ever.
Be sure to check
All
out.
right.
What are they called?
I guess that would be important to know.
It would be a little.
It is Euro music, but it's music spelled like the Dutch people spell it.
It's in the
Are you
Twitch chat.
Dutch? Is that your
At least somewhat.
is that your
Kind of
accent?
everything.
Okay, I get that. Okay, we'll just stick with accent. You're just accent.
Yeah. Yes.
So yeah, please, if you guys want to check out his art, we have it in the chat earlier. I see everyone starting to post all his music in there. As for that, I'd like to apologize that you all had nothing better to do, but I'm glad you spent it with us here. We are the villains of the Villains Talk Show with our special guest, the Meat Man, the Man of Meat. And as always,
the meat for us to enjoy it on our stream.
as always, I am C4. Oh, and accompanied with Insanieac, Sir Jeremy, Sarah Vike, the Great Grease Goblin. And thank you all for watching. Please join us next Sunday for the last two-shot before Sarah heads off to camp. If you want to check out previous episodes, our YouTube, just search The Villains Talk Show. If you want to check out our previous podcast, search The Villains Talk Show. I've cornered the market on The Villains Talk Show. If you put The Villains Talk Show, it's only us that shows up. I'm actually so impressed with myself.
I've seen how good
I'm so impressed with how well I've done this. So, if you want to see any of our previous stuff, two shots, anything, Twitch,
We have them. You know the places.
it's everywhere. Just look up The Villains Talk Show. You'll find it.
If you want to be part of the talk show, message us in chat or Facebook
Yeah.
or various places that we have.
Yeah, just
Things
talk
that
to
you can
us.
find.
Our
just
whole
know about us. Eventually, we'll just drag you on because we have we're running low on ideas.
And we will show off your stuff. for
we
everyone.
It's
we
true.
definitely interview some interesting people, like the meat here today. We interviewed a very nice man who believed a lot about aliens a couple weeks ago. We've interviewed someone who was in the who worked with special needs, who had a very unique ideas on political correctness. We've had a lot.
We had a VTuber once.
Firefighter?
We did firefighter,
We had the writer.
VTuber. We've had a lot of guests. That being said, have a good night.
Thank you for watching.
Yes.
Appreciate you.